The Fjällräven Abisko Friluft 45 gets a lot right, but a few details really surprise me, and not always in a good way. Enjoy the video! Hi everyone and welcome back, and for those who just tuned into my channel for the very first time, my name is Gijs and I am an outdoor gear nutter from the Netherlands. Today we are taking a detailed look into the Fjällräven Abisko Friluft 45. Now this is a 45 liter trekking backpack designed for multi-day hikes, but also hut-to-hut trips and backpacking adventures, of course. Now, I've been using this backpack in real world conditions, of course, carrying loads up to around 50 kilograms. And in this review, I will talk you through all you need to know on this backpack, like materials, comfort, access, usability, and of course, my pros and cons, so you can decide if this is the perfect backpack for your trips. Now, let's get into it. And I'm sorry about my head and maybe the shade in my eyes, because the sun is really out there today and I love it because it is also kind of warm, but it makes that I need to wear a cap a little bit lower because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Now, let's start with the basics. The Fjällräven Abisko Friluft 45 weighs, on my precise scale, 1767.6 grams. That's including the rain cover, and it has a total volume of 45 liters. Now, Fjällräven claims up to 1680 grams, but it's likely that includes the rain cover, which I measured at just over 100 grams. Now, the dimensions are 74 by 44 by 24 centimeters, and recommended load range is between 8 and 15 kilograms, which is, in my experience, absolutely accurate. Overall, the Fjällräven sits firmly in that mid-sized backpack category. Not ultralight, not oversized, but right in that sweet spot for multi-day trekking or minimalist travel. Now let's talk about the materials and the sustainability, because that's always been a strong point of Fjällräven. Now, one thing Fjällräven is absolutely known for is durability and sustainability, and this backpack follows that philosophy quite clearly. The main fabric is made of a recycled 210 denier polyamide, and the bottom uses a heavier 500D recycled polyamide. Both feature a ripstop construction, which basically means that thicker yarns are woven into the fabric to prevent tears from spreading. So if you get a tiny hole in it, basically the thicker yarns will prevent it tearing up totally. Even the lining is made from recycled fibers, and Fjällräven avoids harmful chemicals whenever and wherever possible. Now, for weather protection, the fabric has a polyurethane coating on the inside, and on top of that you get a dry blue rain cover that is included when you buy the pack. Now, that rain cover is a really decent one. It goes easily over the backpack, including the tent, not the trekking poles. You better have them separate. But it's a really nice fit, and the fact that it is blue is because Fjällräven did some investigations, and blue, in case of an emergency, it's a very well visible color when you're in nature. Not only in the green countryside or brown countryside, but also on snow and ice, so it's a safety feature. There is also a PFC-Free DWR coating applied, so water beads off instead of soaking into the fabric. And yes, most people don't know that even backpacks are treated with a DWR coating. PFC-Free, that's the more environmentally friendly option compared to traditional coatings, but it does mean you'll need to reapply it over time, and that's something that a lot of people don't know, that there is a DWR coating on top of a backpack fabric. But just like your hard shell, your raincoat, you need to reapply it once in a while. So overall, strong focus on sustainability without compromising durability, and that's definitely a plus. One important thing to know is that this backpack does not have an adjustable back length. Instead, it comes in two sizes, S/M and M/L. The one I'm reviewing here is the small to medium, which is designed for back length up to 47 centimeters. The medium to large goes up to 52 centimeters back length. Now the difference in size is not only noticeable in the back length, but also in the hip belt and the shoulder strap length. The hip belt is adjustable to 144 centimeters for the SM version and 154 centimeters for the ML version, and in the maximum shoulder strap length is 90 centimeters for the SM and 93 centimeters for the ML. Personally, it doesn't matter to me if I have a backpack with a fixed back length or a adjustable one. As long as I get the sizing right, both work perfectly fine for me. And now let's talk about the access to the backpack and the organization points. And this is where things get interesting. The Abisko Friluft 45 is primarily a top loader with a wide opening under the lid, using a loop and toggle system to tie everything together. Inside you'll find a pocket and a hydration sleeve with a hose exit on the right side. Now, small detail, but I would have liked to have an other exit basically on the other side, because people with are right-handed or left-handed seem to have the hose on a different spot. Now that main compartment is basically one big tube, and how I put my stuff in and how practical that is I will tell you later on in the video. But the real standout feature is the secondary access. You can lay the backpack flat, loosen the compression straps on both sides and open a Velcro connection at the top, and then unzip two large zippers on the side of the backpack. And suddenly the entry to the backpack opens like a suitcase, and that's why we call this also a suitcase opening. And most of the time they use U-shaped zippers, but in this case Fjällraven uses two separate zippers. Now, and honestly, if you're using this backpack for traveling, for example, to Asia and traveling in hostels or maybe hut-to-hut hikes in the Alps, that U-shaped zipper is really a fantastic feature. It's not faster to get access to your stuff because you need to loosen all those straps, because that takes time. But when you've done that, it's just on the bed or on the floor. It is really easy to pick stuff out of your backpack and get stuff back in. Now, the inside of the lid, which is basically this part that is really filled out, as you can see, is actually one large pocket with a big zipper on this side. It is great for quick access items, but not ideal for wet gear. It's water resistant on the outside, doesn't ventilate at all, and there is no drainage hole. So useful, but with limitations. Now let's talk about comfort, because this is where a backpack really proves itself. The Abisko Friluft 45 uses a lightweight aluminum frame with a suspended mesh back panel. So there is a gap between the back and the pack itself, allowing for more airflow. Now in practice, yes, it helps, but on warmer days like this one, I still ended up with a sweaty back. So don't expect any miracles. The frame itself is flexible, not over rigid, which makes it feel natural when you're walking. The backpack really helps in this case, or the backpack frame helps in this case. Now, weight transfer to the hip belt is absolutely solid, and that's important, of course, on longer hikes. Now, the shoulder straps are of course ergonomically shaped. It's a unisex model, so male and female, and they're quite thin and firm, which I absolutely like. There is a mesh on the inside, so it ventilates as well. Not really noticeable, but at least it's there. And as you can see, I've got my Ulanzi Falcon camera clip on here. That's where I carry my camera most of the times, and because of it's so thin, this clip fits, and I'll put the link to that video in the description below. You've got a chest strap with a emergency whistle, of course, and load lifters at the top. Now, it's one of those small adjustments that make a big difference over time when you are doing a longer hike. The hip belt is fixed to the backpack, so you can't remove it, and it uses the same firm padding as the shoulder straps, and again, I like it. If it was my backpack, I would probably lose a lot of this, because it's a real big excess if you're as small as I am. Buckle works absolutely fine, and what I do like is that it's got these oval shapes in here so that it fits nicely around my hips. You also get 2 pockets, one solid and one mesh, both with zippers. They're fine for snacks and small items, but they are not very big. And next to that, opening with one hand is possible, but closing the zipper with one hand is not. You definitely need 2 hands, and that's something that I just don't like. Just for your reference, my iPhone 13 Pro Max does not fit in it at all. The top lid, this one, it's a floating one and it is adjustable in height. Now on both sides there are 2 straps that can pull down if you want to have your top lid a little bit lower, or that you can loosen if you want to have the top lid a little bit higher. So you can vary basically the volume of the main compartment. And at the moment the backpack is not totally filled because I've still got about this much of space if I use that extending tube, which I did not, because I have a tent underneath here and there is a nice strap holding that tent. And this tent, by the way, it is a new Hilleberg Niak that I'm reviewing at the moment, so that review will be online in a couple of months, maybe even before the summer holidays, so I really hope this. And that strap really helps to secure, in this case the tent, but also if you put your hard shell, your rain jacket underneath it, it will help as well to stay in place. Now the top lid, it's got a good zipper with a nice pulling tab, and inside here there's a lot of space. I've got my DJI Osmo gimbal in here because I use that a lot when I'm on the road. Of course, a headlamp with a review on the Ruben. It's on my YouTube channel already, put the link in the description. This is a Waka Waka power bank that I'm reviewing at the moment, and of course in there is my gloves, a beanie, and what else is in there? Yes, a very old but very trusty Garmin GPS that I sometimes bring with me, not always. Now put that in there again. The gimbal, you see there's quite some space in the top lid compartment. Let's do this neatly, like so. And then when I flip it around, totally protected on the inside, there is this mesh pocket. And this mesh pocket, as you will see, in there is a keychain holder and my valuables like my passport, my wallet, and of course a book, Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol, if that's the correct translation in English. So, and because it's mesh, it's very nice that you can see everything that is in there. And again, it's safely secure on the inside of the top lid. On top of the lid there is this elastic cord. It's nice to store away a wet rain jacket or your rain pants or something else that you find on the way. For example, a reindeer, how do you call them? Antlers. I put them on another backpack once. But this is not the most secure system. It is quite loose, to be totally honest though. I would not really trust this. Now on the outside you get 2 open side pockets or bottle holders. But they are not great for bottles. You can only access them from the top, which really makes it difficult to grab a bottle when you're walking. But then you still got the bladder and the hose, of course, if you want to drink on the go. I really wished basically they added a side access or a holster side opening. Next to that, the pockets there are not very deep, so you'll need to secure your bottle with an elastic cord or maybe compression straps that are on the backpack itself. Interestingly, I ended up using them more for things like a tripod that's on that side. Now, the compression straps on the side are very important because they take the tension of this huge zipper. Now there's also an attachment for trekking poles on one side, compression straps for gear, and 2 large straps at the bottom. And personally I don't like carrying gear underneath. It tends to bounce, but some people will really appreciate it, maybe for carrying a closed foam cell mattress. Now I promised in the beginning that I would tell you what I store in my backpack's main compartment. Now since it is a top loader, access of course from the top. Open the lid. Here you see the tent and the retention strap to secure the tent or your hard shell, whatever it takes that you want to put underneath here. Let's put that one aside. And then of course it's this cord that opens up really easy. And you can see that I've still got this about 15 to 20 centimeters of space that I can fill, that I did not yet fill. Now, In here there is my hard shell. I'm not needing it today, but it's on top, so it is quick accessible. Then here you'll see the hose. There's the bladder inside its own pocket. And I've got here my emergency stuff, blankets, bandage, that kind of stuff. And I've got my small, very old puff, down puff. And that basically is securely where my jet boil is, together with the gas canister, because all that stuff is protecting basically what keeps me going, hot food. Now then there is my mattress and some more food, and what you probably cannot see, but down there is a bag with clothing, and there is also my sleeping bag. The space I found is fine for a week or two hut-to-hut hikes, or even longer travel trips with guest houses. Camping for sure with a tent for a couple of days, it's absolutely fine if you need to bring everything. Longer trips, if you want to be totally independent, let's say for about 2 weeks in Scandinavia, then you really need, I think, a bigger backpack if you bring all the food also for 2 weeks. Now, most of the time, depending of course on the trip, I carry about between 8 and 15 kilograms, and even in the upper end, the Abisko Friluft 45 remained stable and very comfortable. And at the moment, this one weighs about 12 kilograms and 300 grams when I weighed it this morning. The 45-liter capacity feels like a sweet spot for me. Enough space without becoming really bulky. And of course, I'm a small person, so I don't bring that much gear most of the time because I don't like to carry heavy backpacks. Packing the backpack is easy, and that suitcase-style opening makes really a difference. Now, comfort-wise, the system works well. Good weight distribution, supportive straps, and a stable feel on the trail. But there are small compromises to be made if you want this backpack. The side pockets aren't very practical, the hip belt pockets are a bit small, and the zippers, well, you need both hands to open and close them. And that results in a feeling that some design details are slightly underdeveloped, like they never tried the backpack themselves in the development stage and being outdoors. And now it's time to head on to my verdict. How do I rate the Fjällräven Abisko Friluft 45? Well, in general, it is a well-designed, durable backpack that clearly reflects Fjällräven's philosophy on durability and sustainability. It performs best as a trekking pack for multi-day hikes, especially with that 8 to 15 kilogram range. Now, the carrying system is solid, the suitcase-style access is genuinely useful, and overall comfort is good. But at a price point of around 270 euros, you expect near perfection. And that is where it falls slightly short. The side pockets, the small hip belt pockets, and a few missing details. And that is what holds it back. So, taking everything into account, I rate the Fjällräven Abisko Friluft 45 at 7.8 points out of 10 total. All in all, a strong performer with excellent build quality, but not without its quirks. Now, I really hope you like this video and that it is useful to you. And if it is, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And please leave a comment, because I really love getting comments and I respond mostly to all of them. If you want to see more gear put to the test, I've got a couple of videos that you might like. Watch my video tutorial on how to fit a backpack to get the most comfortable hike. Or if you are looking for a new stainless steel water bottle, then watch the video I made on the Clean Canteen Classic. Now, both reviews are based on years of real world use and are packed with hands-on insights, just like the video you just watched. See you in the next one. Enjoy the outdoors and stay safe. Ciao, ciao. This really is a good bottle. It's one of my favorite ones.